For decades, humanoid robots were the stuff of science fiction and high-tech labs. But now, they are poised to enter everyday work environments. Around the world, engineers and companies have been racing to create robots that can move, act, and even collaborate like we do. Now, human-shaped robots are leaving the lab and entering factories, warehouses, and even our daily lives. Amazon, the second-largest employer in the US, with 1.56 million people, recently announced the development of their 1 millionth robot and trials of humanoid robots for deliveries. On one hand, these robots promise to handle drudge work or dangerous tasks, potentially freeing humans for more creative pursuits. On the other, people worry about mass unemployment or being rendered obsolete by mechanical workers. Like the #1 US employer Walmart, Amazon has become one of the major economic lifelines for rural communities, while industries like manufacturing decline. For staggeringly massive companies like Amazon, who have the resources and desire to develop specialized robots, mass job loss could spell major economic trouble for these communities. This raises a big, uneasy question. Are humanoid robots truly going to take over human jobs? In the last couple of years, several tech companies, from giant automakers to ambitious startups, have unveiled life-sized robots that walk on two legs and perform basic tasks. It's an exciting time for robotics. Prototypes are more capable than ever, and some are even moving toward mass production. Tesla grabbed headlines by announcing its humanoid robot Optimus. First revealed in concept in 2021, Optimus is now a real walking prototype being tested in Tesla's own factories. Elon Musk has boldly claimed that, in time, Tesla could build thousands of these robots, potentially making Optimus more valuable than Tesla's car business. Ambitious? Absolutely. But it shows the level of seriousness now invested in humanoid robots as a future workforce. Tesla isn't alone. A startup called Figure has introduced its humanoid robot, aiming to be a general-purpose worker. Despite being a young company founded in 2022, Figure secured hundreds of millions of dollars in funding and quickly built a prototype. Their robot stands about human height and is intended to work in logistics and manufacturing environments, essentially warehouses and assembly lines. In fact, Figure has even begun pilot tests, including placing a humanoid in a car factory to fetch and carry parts. These early trials hint that humanoids are edging into jobs traditionally done by people, at least in controlled settings. Moving across the globe, companies in Asia and Europe are racing forward too. In China, Unitree Robotics, known previously for its agile four-legged robots, unveiled a humanoid named H1 and a smaller model called G1. Unitree's twist is its affordability. The newer G1 humanoid is reportedly priced at around $15,000 to $20,000, vastly cheaper than most Western humanoids. The goal is to make robot workers accessible and common. Meanwhile, Japan and South Korea, long innovators in robotics, have their own humanoid projects, often focused on elder care or service roles. Even traditional industrial robot makers are joining in. For example, Toyota has experimented with human assist robots, and Honda's famed Asimo robot, which could walk and climb stairs as early as the 2000s, laid groundwork for today's designs. And we can't forget the pioneers. Boston Dynamics in the US spent decades pushing the limits of legged robots. Their humanoid Atlas became a YouTube star by performing backflips and dance routines, showcasing agility that few robots or even humans can match. While Atlas is more of a research platform than a commercial worker, Boston Dynamics' work proved that bipedal robots can balance and move with incredible finesse. Now owned by Hyundai, the company is inching toward practical applications. The latest version of Atlas, unveiled in 2024 as an all-electric model with no noisy hydraulics, is being tested for real jobs, like handling boxes in a mock construction site. This hints that even the flashy Atlas is gradually learning to do useful work, not just cool demos. It seems every few months, another player unveils a new robot with a human-like form and bold promises. The global surge in humanoid robotics is driven by a mix of technological progress and economic pressure. In some industries, there's a genuine labor shortage, or the work is so arduous that automating it is very appealing. So, at first glance, it might look like an army of humanoid robots is assembling, ready to enter the workforce. But what's really going on inside these machines? To understand how close they are to doing human jobs, we need to look at how they're built and what technologies make them and limit them. Think of a humanoid robot as a blend of mechanical engineering and advanced artificial intelligence, all packed into a human-shaped shell. Instead of muscles and tendons, robots use actuators, essentially motors or hydraulic pneumatic devices, to move their joints. Dozens of electric motors work in concert to lift an arm, bend a knee, or turn a wrist. Modern humanoids like Optimus and Figaro 1 use compact electric actuators at each joint. These provide the strength and fine control needed for tasks like picking up objects or walking. Engineering a good actuator is a balancing act. It must be strong enough to handle heavy loads, precise enough for delicate motions, and efficient enough not to drain the battery immediately. Each step a robot takes or each item it grasps is powered by these mechanical muscles. To operate in our world, a robot needs to perceive its environment. Most humanoids are loaded with sensors. Cameras serve as the robot's eyes, often providing stereoscopic vision, 2 cameras for depth perception, so the machine can judge distances and navigate. Some robots add depth sensors or LiDAR scanners to build a 3D map of their surroundings, useful for avoiding obstacles or climbing stairs. Microphones can give robots the ability to hear voice commands or sounds, though interacting by voice is still rudimentary in many models. There are also often gyroscopes and accelerometers acting as the robot's inner ear, helping it maintain balance and know its orientation. A few advanced humanoids even incorporate tactile sensors in their hands or fingers, so they can gauge how firmly they're gripping an object, crucial for handling things without dropping or crushing them. These sensors feed a constant stream of data to the robot's brain about what's around it and how it's positioned. At the heart of every humanoid is a computer, or several, running sophisticated software and AI. This is the robot's brain. It processes sensor data and decides how to act. Recent advances in artificial intelligence, especially in machine vision and motion planning, are a big reason why humanoid robots are becoming more viable. For example, a camera image goes through AI algorithms that help the robot recognize, say, a door in front of it or a package it needs to pick up. Balance and walking are managed by control algorithms that calculate how to shift weight and move legs without toppling over, essentially trying to mimic what our cerebellum and reflexes do. Some robots are trained using virtual simulations. They practice walking or grabbing objects millions of times in a computer simulation to improve their skills, and then those skills transfer to the real robot. We're also seeing the integration of machine learning for decision-making.
Can I have something to eat?
Robots can be programmed with goal-oriented behaviors and learn the best way to accomplish tasks via trial and error. While today's humanoids don't have human-level intelligence, they can be surprisingly autonomous in structured tasks, like navigating a known environment or repetitively moving items. The better the brain, both hardware and AI algorithms, the more adaptable and useful the robot. A robot can only work as long as it has power. Almost all modern humanoids are battery-powered, carrying a pack usually in their torso or backpack. The challenge is that walking, lifting, and balancing a heavy robot is energy-intensive. Batteries give current humanoids only a limited operating time, often on the order of 2 to 5 hours of active work on a charge. Engineers are constantly trying to improve energy efficiency, using lightweight materials, energy-efficient motors, and clever software that avoids wasteful movements. Some robots can do opportunistic recharging. For instance, Agility Robotics Digit can dock itself to a charging station when it's low on juice, and UBTech's recently announced Walker S2, which is able to change its own battery. Still, compared to a human who can work a full day with just a lunch break, robots need fairly frequent recharging or battery swaps to keep going. Battery weight also adds to the robot's bulk. A big battery is heavy, which then requires more power to carry. These machines are marvels of engineering. But if we directly compare humanoid robots to humans in the context of work, how do these robotic contenders stack up against the original article, A Real Human Worker? In certain aspects, robots already have an edge in strength. a robot could lift heavy components or handle toxic materials without risking injury or fatigue. However, current general-purpose humanoids aren't that strong yet. Many are designed to lift moderate loads, comparable to what an average person can handle because of motor and balance limitations. One advantage for robots is that, in theory, they don't need to sleep and could work round the clock in shifts, if we solve the recharging and maintenance hurdles. In terms of raw physical ability, the current generation of humanoids can't yet outperform a healthy human across a full workday. Humans are remarkably agile and coordinated. Consider a simple warehouse task, picking various items off a shelf and packing them into a box. A human can adjust on the fly, pick quickly, and move at a brisk walking pace between shelves. Robots today are still slower at such unstructured tasks. A humanoid must carefully balance with each step and ensure it precisely grabs the right item. This often makes it move deliberately and cautiously. In highly repetitive tasks, a specialized robot can beat a human. For instance, an automated arm on a factory line can weld far faster and more consistently than a person. But that is a specialized robot. A humanoid replicating a human's broad range of movements will typically be slower and more methodical. Robots consume a lot of electrical energy for even basic locomotion. In fact, walking on two legs is a tricky and power-hungry way to move. Wheeled robots or conveyor belts often transport goods more efficiently than a bipedal robot trying to mimic a human stride. So in terms of speed and energy costs for accomplishing varied tasks, humans still have an advantage in most scenarios. Adaptability is where humans really shine. We are natural generalists. A person can be shown a new tool or a new task and, with a bit of practice, become competent. We can handle surprises. If something falls on the ground, we bend over and pick it up. If two tasks need to be done at once, we figure out how to juggle them or prioritize. Humanoid robots, as impressive as they are, tend to be quite specialized in what they can do. A robot might be programmed to tighten a screw with a tool or carry a box, but if you suddenly ask that same robot to do a completely new task, it will likely struggle or need new programming. Their brains are narrow, great at the routines they've been trained on, but not nearly as flexible as a human's mind. Also, robots currently have very limited fine motor skills compared to an experienced human worker. For instance, a skilled technician can assemble small parts by feel and sight, adjusting on the fly. A humanoid robot's hands and fingers still find such tasks extremely challenging. That said, robots have one adaptability edge: you can replicate them. If one robot learns how to do a task really well, you can copy that software to multiple robots, theoretically giving an entire fleet a new skill. In the future, if humanoids become more intelligent, this rapid scalability of skills might be a huge advantage. But as of now, for versatility and creative problem-solving, humans are far ahead. A human needs training, yes, but generally we come with a lifetime of built-in learning about how the world works. We also just need basic provisions like food, water, and rest. A robot needs a whole support ecosystem: engineers to program and update it, technicians to repair it when parts wear out, and a power infrastructure to keep it charged. If a humanoid is working in a very human-oriented space, sometimes the environment might even need modifications for the robot's benefit. Markers for navigation, wireless networking for cloud computing help. That's a cost and complexity that we don't face with a typical human employee. The bottom line is that today's humanoid robots cannot simply drop into any job and perform like a human. They excel at specific, predefined tasks and can work tirelessly in structured environments. But give them something truly unpredictable or multifaceted, and they struggle. For now, humans remain the more flexible worker by a long shot. However, robots are improving steadily. Year by year, their strength, battery life, dexterity, and AI smarts inch closer to what a person might do. This comparison will keep evolving. But knowing these current strengths and weaknesses helps us to understand the niche in which humanoid robots might actually start taking over jobs. Likely jobs that are simple, repetitive, or dangerous, where their limitations are less of an issue. For many jobs, it's more practical and cost-effective to use non-humanoid robots. For example, a set of robotic arms in a factory or a wheeled robot courier in a warehouse rather than a bipedal robot trying to do it all. On the other hand, only human-shaped robots can seamlessly integrate into environments designed entirely around human needs and comfort. Likely, the future will see a mix. With that perspective in mind, what does all this mean for society? If or when humanoid robots do start taking over more tasks, how will it affect human workers, and what ethical or economic questions arise? The most immediate concern is job displacement. There is a genuine worry that advanced humanoid robots could lead to layoffs or reduced hiring in fields like manufacturing, logistics, or retail services. History shows that while automation and new technologies do eliminate certain jobs, they also tend to create new ones, often in areas we wouldn't have predicted. We might see growing demand for roles like robot maintenance technicians, software engineers, or other jobs involved in managing and expanding robotic fleets. As an example, while Amazon's robots have clearly displaced workers, the company claims that 700,000 people have been upskilled as a result. If it's true, then that cost savings and maintenance of robotics will allow for healthier and more highly skilled roles to be made available to humans. However, this doesn't always work out in practice. There's also an ethical and psychological dimension. As robots become more lifelike in appearance or behavior, we'll have to decide how we want to interact with these new helpers. Should a polite, helpful robot be treated like just another piece of equipment? Or will people start regarding them almost as if they are co-workers with feelings? Our instincts might lead us to empathize with robots that act human, which can be disconcerting. These questions aren't fully upon us yet, but they highlight that bringing humanoid robots into society isn't just a technical or economic matter. It also touches on how we define work, companionship, and what it means to be human in a future where robots play a bigger role. So, will humanoid robots take over human jobs? They will certainly take over some jobs, and indeed they already are starting to do so. The most likely path is a gradual integration. Robots taking on the dull, dirty and dangerous jobs first, then expanding as they become more capable. Rather than a sudden displacement, humans and robots will work side by side for many years, with the balance shifting slowly. In the near term, your job is probably safe, unless it's highly repetitive and in a controlled environment, and even then, a robot will likely complement rather than fully replace you. In the long term, as technology matures, many jobs will evolve or even disappear. But new ones will come, and humanity will have to evolve with the technology. One thing is certain: humanoid robots are no longer just science fiction. They are being built and deployed as we speak. Whether they bring about a golden age of productivity and leisure, or whether they require us to rethink our social contracts, they will play a role in the future of work. The question, will they take our jobs, is also a question of what we want our jobs and lives to be. So, the next time you see a flashy video of a robot doing a flip or hear about one assembling gadgets in a factory, you'll know the robots are coming, but the human touch is not gone. The age of humanoid robots in the workforce is on the horizon, and it's going to be quite a journey getting there.